So, sir, do you think that there are any initiatives included for job creation in the latest budget?
Certainly. In fact, for the first time, I've been following the budget for last 30 years and especially the 10 years of Modi regime.
Okay.
I think this is the first budget to speak about employment, jobs in such a lengthy manner. The part A of the Finance Minister budget speech is entirely focused on jobs and employment. Well, if you look at, I think I was reading somewhere that the jobs and employment word figured at least 23 times in this budget, something unprecedented in the past. So they have listened to the voters' mandate. What did the voters say? Thank you for Ram Temple, but we need jobs.
Right.
They said, thank you, you have built Ram Temple, we are happy with that.
Right.
But we are not happy, even God is not happy. God also said, well, Lord Ram also said, you have built me a temple. You have moved me from tent to temple, as Prime Minister Modi said. But my children are not getting good jobs.
Right.
So Bhagwan will also be happy when he is not given good house. He'll be happy if his own creation lives in a happy life.
True.
That is what the divinity essentially means. If you are so selfish about your own wonderful temple, he is not a God. No God will be like that. So the divine entity essentially means they look for, that's what Manava Seva, Madhava Seva. That's what our epics tell, that's what our Dharma Shastra tell. Right. So the fundamental thing is, well, they have listened to the voter, so they have responded it. So there are certain good schemes. The first scheme is to have an apprenticeship. Let me tell you an interesting thing. The budget contains many facets of Congress manifesto. Okay. So it was a Congress which in its manifesto promised right to apprenticeship scheme. They promised that around 1 lakh companies, youth will be provided mandatory apprenticeship. Any company with over 10 crore turnover. So, but a watered down version is included in this budget. It says 1 crore youth will be provided internship in 500 top companies and around 5,000 rupees will be paid for the interning per year, per month for a period of 1 year with another 6,000 rupees initially.
Okay.
So all that is good. It's a wonderful scheme. I appreciate it. Internship is, I'm sure you will also agree, you have a background in technology. Right. So internship is highly appreciable. But I only doubt the figures. They said 1 crore in 5 years, which means 20 lakh per year. Am I right?
Right.
So 500 companies, which means 4,000 people should be given internship in each company in a year,
right,
per year. Will any company, however big it may be, in a company like Infosys, company like Wipro, will it accept 4,000 interns? I really doubt.
True.
So 4,000, providing internship to 4,000 interns in even a big company may not be possible, right, in a year. So the figures certainly seem to be not matching the actual reality. Then there is a second question. Why only 500 top companies? The problem with the 500 top companies is, well, if somebody has to be trained, get an internship, even to be benefited by that internship in a top company, he or she needs some level of abilities. Suppose you want to get trained in Hotel Marriott, you have to speak in English at least.
Right.
So, but if you want to get a training in chutneys, then that doesn't require so much of skill set. True. So when you give training in only 500 top companies, I am sure the ordinary, mundane, routine ability holding people will not benefit. So relatively it benefits the cream of the people who require internship. It doesn't require benefit the mass of the people who require training. What is required today, the cream will anyhow get the job. They know how to get their own internship.
Right.
So in top companies, all of us know children coming out of top engineering colleges, top institutions, do get internship without even government support also. Right. The problem is only for the middle and the lower level people. The problem is never at the higher level people. So that is the practical problem. So instead of focusing on the middle and lower level skilled people to offer them some level of training, so they are focused on the upper layer. That is another problem, but still it's a wonderful scheme. There is another scheme which incentivizes additional employment. Suppose if you give a job of less than 1 lakh, the government will provide 15,000 per employee, not more than 15,000, depending on the salary given, in 3 installments of 5,000 each. So the person who is getting employment will get 15,000 from the government, and the person who is providing employment, employer, will get 72,000. So he gets a monthly 3,000 for 24 months. My question is, you still want to incentivize the employer, not the employee. So that bias still remains. On one side, economic survey says, we have given you tax concessions. In September 2019, the corporate income tax has been slashed by 10%. As a result, the government has foregone a revenue of 1,86,000 crores. This is whose money? So, what did investment go up? No. Did private sector invest more? No. This is what economic survey said. It's not my problem. So, why did they not? People will invest not when they are provided incentive. People will invest when there is somebody to buy their goods and services.
Right.
So that is a fundamental problem. The supply side economic obsession still makes the government to incentivize the employer. What you require is a demand side intervention, where when you have people to buy goods and services, the production will always be there. The beg, borrow and steal people will produce.
Right.
So the problem is not supply, the problem is demand. So there is, today what is happening, there is only consumption at the upper layer. For example, the high-end apartments and villas are finding traction, sale, whereas the middle level and affordable housing sales have come down. High-end car sales have increased. The budget cars and two-wheeler sales have come down. So there is a luxury consumption by the top 10-15% of the country, which is called the K-shaped consumption, which is resulting in this growth. But what India requires is the 80-90% of Indian population should be able to consume the basic goods and services.
Right.
So that requires money in the hands of the people, not in the hands of the corporates. So that's the reason economic survey said they're swimming in profits. So when the government itself acknowledges in economic survey that corporates are swimming in profits, what prevents government from taxing a bit of those surplus profits, those windfall profits? I really don't understand. So that is the problem again of a wrong economic strategy of supply side intervention rather than demand side management.